So as photographers, I think we all have our favorite type of photography that we like to do. It might be landscape, taking photos in the city with street stuff. It might be wildlife. Could be all kinds of things. One thing that I've noticed is that documentary style photography is probably one of my favorites because I think it applies to all different types of photography that you might do. In this video, you'll see me try to do landscape style pictures in the city, where maybe I'm trying to take a picture of a building almost as if it was a mountain or different things like that. But at the same time, I'm still documenting something. I'm trying to tell a story. I'm trying to understand it. And when I'm doing wildlife or landscape photography too, I'm also still trying to tell a story. I'm trying to figure out what is the essence of this? What story is this really telling? How can I capture something other than just the image itself and make this feel, more important and interesting than just an image? So I think documentary style filmmaking or photography makes its way into all kinds of photography. And for that reason, I would really encourage you to practice documentary style photography. Maybe that's going out on the streets. But probably the easiest way you could do this is at home with your family. This is what I do. I'm constantly taking pictures of my family. I have my phone, of course, but then I also have my point and shoot camera, my RX100. But my camera right here, I'm taking tons of photos all the time of my family and friends, and it's the easiest one to do it with. And once you get really good at doing those pictures with your family, you'll start to see yourself able to do it elsewhere too. There's lots of things that you can do through that documentary style photography that I think is going to apply itself in all areas. So check out this video that I'm doing. I go into the city to kind of document different things in the city too and try to tell stories through it all. And I hope you get something out of it. I hope it inspires you to do this yourself. I challenged myself to do it black and white style throughout the whole thing. So I hope you really like it. And if you do like the video, please leave comments about some types of documentary and wildlife and other stuff that you do and how you blend the two of them. And just let me know your thoughts and subscribe to the channel, please. Hope you like the video. So I'm down here, and one of the photos I'm taking a picture of is of this building behind me. And since there's not a lot of buildings that are like really high downtown here, it's always really interesting to capture them with the sky totally immersed around them, because in big cities where there's tall buildings everywhere, it's just building up against building up against building, whereas here in Lexington we got big buildings and then sky surrounding it. So you can see the birds or the clouds or whatever else, and it kind of gives us this haunting look to it and everything. And so I like the black and white look with it rather than the color, because it just gives it a different feel, almost like it's out of a movie or something like that. So check it out. One of the ideas that I had was to do some journaling while I was out here, to kind of journal down thoughts of what I'm going to take pictures of and everything, and how I'm going to take the picture, what I'm seeing in the picture that makes me want to take a picture of it. And it is super cold, so I have not been doing that, but I have been doing a lot of the thinking of it in my head, and I've been thinking through what's interesting about this. What angle am I liking? Why am I drawn to this? How could I make it more interesting? How could I make it more unique? Something that I've seen before but also haven't seen before. So for instance, I just recently got like a Wes Anderson book, and I was interested to see how I could budge up close to the Wes Anderson look without actually having it, and maybe adapting it a little bit more into something else. And then also we've been reading the Jimmy Chin book, He's an adventure photographer. And being in the city, I'm trying to figure out, how do I get that look too? How do I do something kind of cool, epic landscape looking thing with buildings, and flat land and streets? So I've been trying to do some more things like that to try to challenge and push myself, along with trying to just do my own thing and make sure that if I see something I really enjoy and like, I'm going to do it. So for instance, there's these little trees behind me in this little courtyard area, and there's a bunch of birds that fly up around here, and I'm going to whip out the telephoto and try to get some pictures of them because they're just small and puffy, and even try to stick to the black and white look that I've been doing to make sure that I can still capture the details and the essence and the contrast of it all. So yeah, if you guys are ever trying to like challenge yourself to do stuff like that, like I am, adapt for your situation. Instead of just giving up on it, whip out your phone, do something like that. I'll journal about all this stuff later, or just tough it out. So anyways, hope you enjoy some of these telephoto shots. Well, I am back inside. It was super cold out there, so I wanted to come in and look at through the photos and really be able to show you some of the things that I took. Now, obviously, you saw me take pictures of the birds. You saw me take pictures of that building. But one other place that I was at that I didn't show was being in the library in Lexington. And I started on the outside, and I got this picture of a person walking through the doors, which is what kind of drew me to go in there in the first place. But I liked how almost secluded he was already before walking in there. He had the headphones on, had his bag ready to go, and you could tell that guy's going in there to get some stuff done and doesn't want to probably be bothered. And then I was kind of curious, well, how often is this place open, everything else. So I got a picture of the hours from the inside. For some reason, I thought the backwards lettering was intriguing. I'm not sure why. I also, while I was in there, saw a picture of this guy standing off to the side. Hope I don't get him in trouble if someone sees this, but doing the classic smoking with a non-smoking sign right there next to it. And then I got the picture of the inside of it, actually. And I didn't go very far into the library because I just walk in instantly and see this, and I was instantly drawn, obviously, to the skylight above and the Roman numerals around it and the circle up above. But also, as you draw your eye down to the bottom, is that person sitting there by themselves. And the thing that I found most interesting about that, which I related to, is that they could have tucked themselves away probably somewhere a lot further to be by themselves and read this book. But they found a table right next to this big entrance, and maybe they just love being next to that openness and the beauty of it. And then the other story that I was trying to look at, you saw that building I took a picture of, was all the other buildings there in Lexington. As I said in the other part, a lot of our buildings don't touch up next to each other, so you got a lot of sky around them, and sometimes you can catch birds flying around it too. But I wanted to find this fun eeriness about them. I was practicing doing black and white that day, and the contrast of the buildings to the sky was really fascinating and cool, and it created this dark image. And I really enjoyed doing that, of trying to make them angled and also symmetrical and also, warped a bit. I said I was trying to take pictures like Wes Anderson or Jimmy Chin, and this was kind of my way of doing that too, was to try to make things symmetrical but also elongated and distorted, kind of like a mountain that Jimmy Chin would take a picture of or something. And those contrasts with the clouds is something you often want with landscape photography too. But I hope that this inspired you all to maybe go out into your area and take pictures too. You don't have to live in New York like so many photographers we see on YouTube or some other magical place. You can go and find magic in your own spaces around you. I did this here in Lexington. I also live in a small town with little tiny buildings that I'm going to go take pictures of in another video, and I hope you tune in for that too. So please like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that way you can be notified when I do this, and please share this, because a lot of what I talk about is not just photography, but the therapeutic nature of it all, and how, you know, not just photographers, but day-to-day people can really get a lot out of photography too. So I hope you enjoy it, and tune in next time, and I will see you all later.